All right, we're live. Good morning, everyone. This is episode 159, starring Kranitoko, Charlie Murray, and the crowd goes wild. All right.
He's going to open a pack live on the show. He just doesn't know.
Well, I've got the cartel coins ready for the next pack opening next week, so I assume there's going to be some packs next week.
Yeah.
I haven't even made the intro yet, which I need to make.
Have they said that? I know we've had the previews on the PTS, but yeah, it's a fairly safe assumption.
You'd assume there would be.
A week or two.
That's true, because I remember when they used to release a patch, they would release a cartel pack like a week later, but lately they've just been doing it as soon as the patch goes live.
All right. Test. That's not
You restreaming on
I just hope my
Twitch,
internet
Red?
holds up. It's going a bit slow for me today.
Am I?
Are you?
I was going to.
Okay.
Because I've had some people in
internet's
my chat room coming in the next day when I do my standard live stream asking, how come you didn't stream last week? And I'm like, dude, it's supposed to be on YouTube. But I'm going to, yeah. Just in case if we catch anybody, I can engage them.
Alright, just letting someone know. Alright, yeah, we'll be starting in a sec. Chill's obviously here. The bus gods were kind.
All praise the bus god.
I was about to ask Red to accumulate questions from the chat room as we go. Hyper crates for everyone. Only if Bill is paying. I have tweeted. Alright. Recording. Right device. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Normal voice. Speaking too loudly. Yeah, right.
Why, hello.
Hello, everybody. It is I, Mr. Charlie Murray.
Alright.
Yes.
That should be just fine.
He's a very mirthful Charlie.
Mirthful. Anything we want to cover before we roll into all of our information? No discussion topic today, but there's
Plenty
lots
of
of news.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about Shadow Realms, at least briefly.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I need to check.
Why is my internet being so slow?
I mean, it might be reduced to the speed that we have to deal with.
My internet's just doing that thing where it's... Is it? I mean, am I alright on your end, or am I very slow on your end?
We can't tell. There's no picture, so...
Your audio is not breaking up.
Audio's good.
Yeah, because I've only got 4 bars out of 5 on my computer, and it'll you'll talk, and then it'll just speed up as if it's catching up, which
Inconceivable.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it'll be alright, but I don't know why it's so slow, especially at this time of night.
Alright. Alright, I just made my video quality really crap, so not that I was having any problems, but...
No, I think it's literally my end.
Alright. Anything else? Shall we get rolling? Taking that as a yes?
Yes, I'm ready, and I've got Audacity rolling. Everything's good.
Then let us do this. Everyone recording, include... I know Red is Red.
Yes, I am.
Alright. Charlie, you are
Yep.
going?
Yep.
Alright. Let's do it.
Okay, going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast, the podcast that has returned to its home planet of Tatooine. This is episode 159, being recorded on Wednesday, August 13th, 2014. I'm your host, Jill, and with me is my co-host, Tio. Hi, Tio.
Hey, guys.
And with us today are Red and famous pack opener Kranitoko. Hey, Kranitoko, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad.
All right. Well, we always look forward to your new videos. Anything else going on YouTube-wise?
I just did the Balmora bonus series on my Jedi Consular. The thing is, on the Republic side, it's not exactly as interesting as the Imperial side. It's just, oh no, the Empire are trying to take back Balmora. I better do something about it. But
Right.
it's just not as exciting. But the Imperial side just is a lot better because it actually links to. Is it just one of your classes or no one? I'm not going to say which one, but I know it definitely links to one of them, which is quite nice. So I've got one more part of that to come out, and then obviously over the next few days I've got about 3 more videos to make. One is Sith Warrior I'm going to do another Datacron video because I need to get some of those Datacrons. I'm going to do another one for my Jedi Consular, so I'm going to do one each, one on Sith Warrior and one on Jedi Consular. And of course I need to do another Jedi Consular episode because I kind of miscalculated how many I'd actually be making with the content I recorded for the Balmora bonus series. And then, of course, after I've made that, on Tuesday, there's a whole bunch of stuff coming out with, got Galactic Strongholds out on that day. I can't believe that's only on Tuesday. That's come up really fast now. And then, obviously, the next pack opening video, whenever that comes out. And, yeah, and just a bunch of other videos. I even made a little trailer for it, which is quite nice. That was fun to make.
Right. Well, while our personal, favorites, of course, are the pack opening videos. You have been having a lot of fun, clearly, doing the class story videos, which are popping up all over your feed as well, and they are fun. I do like how you sort of cheekily go through the, you're talking over into your mic while you're doing the story, and it's a lot of fun. Oh, this is an impressive room.
I don't know if people actually like me talking over the conversation, but I do it anyway.
I'm glad that you do it because there are elsewhere on YouTube there are videos just kind of blandly giving like movie versions of all the cutscenes and blah blah blah. So that's been done. So I'm glad that you're doing this.
Well, I mean, I've actually had this thought. I'm obviously not going to do it because obviously if I were to do this, it would sort of plagiarism to copyright and all that. But I've always thought about taking every single class story and just sort of making it into a sort of, in a way, a TV series. So you got a little bit of the Jedi Consular, then do the Jedi Knight. Sort of try and get all the story of the actual game in order. But of course, you can't do that because copyright issues.
Right.
But obviously, if there's talking involved, it's sort of alright as long as the music isn't, playing the full-on Star Wars theme tune, which a couple of my videos do, but I'll probably mute those at one point. Don't know when.
Okay.
That was before the sort of rules came in, the new YouTube rules.
Right, and and Google put the hammer down on Twitch as well. So
Yeah.
So how about in-game? What you been doing this week?
I actually finished all the achievements for the Nightlife event because obviously when the Nightlife event came out, I didn't play too much. I only played like a few hours a day, and in those few hours, I actually got most of the achievements. I even made a video when I got the Rancor mount, which was very exciting.
Nice.
And then obviously. Got a few more achievements after that, and then I just sort of stopped for a little while because I only had one achievement to get, which was to get the was it the Vectron? What's the mount called? The Vectron
Magnus.
something.
Magnus.
Yeah,
the black one.
Yeah, and I only needed like 4 golden certificates for that, and I thought, I'll just do it at a later date. And then obviously last Wednesday I went back onto Star Wars and got those 4 certificates and got all the achievements, which is quite nice. Obviously, I'm probably not going to use them out because I'm more into my Rancor at the moment. I played a bit of the Rakghoul event. I'm not really as excited for it as I was before, probably because it's all the same stuff. Because when I realized it was the exact same layout, it's the exact same quest. It kind of put me off. I mean, I know the Greed does that and Battering Contract does that, but lore-wise, it kind of made a little bit it kind of didn't make sense because the tunnels are exactly the same. You wouldn't go to Alderaan and see the tunnels and then go to Tatooine where the plague is there and you think, oh, the tunnels are exactly the same. What are the odds of that? It just makes no sense.
Right.
They could have at least reskinned the walls so that
Yeah.
they were like yellowy or something. Surely.
So
More sand.
No,
I've
I-
totally
sandstone
got
or
a way
something.
to scam this because they've got the foragers and the breeders and the different neutrals that are scattered around the tunnels. Effectively, in my mind, they're the initial infection, and then they're it's like a biological prerogative based off of those types, and they created all the tunnels perfectly identically, and then brought in hosts for the virus in order to expand the population, but they're completely duplicating the entire process. Of course, it's still hard to address why the eyeless is planet hopping, but
But I was sort of thinking. I was saying in one of my videos that his name's Geelvik. I got his name wrong in my video, but Geelvik, the actual vendor, it would have been nice if even he was just dotted in a different place, just a little bit of a change up. But we didn't see any of that. Obviously, we got a different world
Right.
boss. Was it? I never did the world
Yeah.
boss, so. Yeah, so I think that's the only differences, and it's nice that the actual spike is literally about 200 meters away from where the original Tatooine Ragdoll event was, so that's quite nice.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And I forget who mentioned it, but yeah, because they didn't change anything, it's pretty clear that the moisture farmers on Tatooine are doing it wrong. So all they really need is to drill a well because it's pretty moist down there.
Yeah.
oh, good point.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's all I've really been doing in Star Wars. Yeah. it's been
All
loads of fun.
right. Awesome. Red, how about your week?
I did the event a whole lot. A whole lot. My brain hurts. It's hard to remember what I did because it was just event. No, it was good. I had to kind of piecemeal work my way through the achievements exactly how they work in order to fully understand how to get them. Some of them are a little bit more complicated than at first glance. But I was able to get all of the pets that I could. I still haven't gotten it off of the eyeless, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I also was able to purchase one of the two off of Geelvik, the little Jawa vendor, but the problem lies in the fact that you have to be a certain reputation level in order to make the purchase. While I was doing the dailies this week, I actually hit friendly, so I was able to... No, let's see. Actually, yeah, okay, you buy it off of the vendor, and it's got a reputation gap for one of the rat ghouls that you need to get in order to kill the tunnel lurker in order to get the achievement.
Okay.
There's also off of those neutrals, which you have to kill 5 of each in the tunnels for an achievement, which gets you a title, by the way, which is kind of cool. There is actually a random chance for one of the racklings to drop off of that. And so I was rolling, I tend to play with friends. I was rolling with one of my friends and was so psyched when I saw it drop after like 5 or 6 kills. It was really early. But then I lost the roll. And before I could say, hey, do you mind giving that to me? Because, I'm trying to get the achievements. She immediately learned it and was like, dude, this is so cute. Such a cute little pet. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was a little sad, but I went and finished the achievement anyway for killing the neutrals, which are the fungus rat ghouls, if anybody's looking to find out which ones those are. But lo and behold, on the very last one to complete the entire achievement, a second one dropped. And there were only 2 of us, so I totally won that roll.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
nice.
So thank you, RNG gods. I got it my second try. And then immediately went to kill the tunnel lurker and realized, yes, you can get the drop. No, you can't learn it without being heroic with Thorn, the Reckle rep.
That's kind of a bummer for an actual random drop.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't believe they put that on a drop. I mean, I totally
random drop.
understand
Yeah,
reputation
exactly.
gating items you have to purchase from a vendor, but
Yeah, exactly. It's different if it's a vendor.
yeah.
Oh,
But
wow.
so anyway, I started the week. I was friendly. I wasn't friendly. I hit friendly, so I barely did it when it was on Alderaan. I think I might have done the dailies once when it was on Alderaan. But anyway, I was really rocking it, so I definitely hit friendly at the beginning of the week and then kept on going. So I'm already hero this week, and I'll have enough to get to champion next week. But I did not get enough to get to legend, which is fine. My eyes were starting to hurt.
All right.
Oh, I did also want to say if it's not red, it doesn't count for achievement.
Huh.
So, and I'm not talking about myself here, I'm talking about other players in the game. If they are gray to you, it does not count towards that PvP achievement where you need to kill 100 other people. Which shocked me and made me feel really bad for killing like 30s over and over and over again as I was swooping around the tunnel looking for the tunnel lurker.
Oh dear. So if so, not just gray like when you attack a rat ghoul and or someone else attacks a rat ghoul and it turns gray because it's not at you anymore, but you're talking about gray for the when you hover over when you click on them and you see their level, and if their level is gray, then it doesn't count.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
It might be hard for some people to remember the leveling process, but if you click on somebody that's levels above you, they can be orange to red.
Right.
But this goes green and down, and when it's gray, you definitely just leave them alone. Let the poor guys play.
That's only 5 levels or something like that. That's a big.
I think that's about right.
You're at max. That's a big swath of levels that's not available.
Yep.
Yeah.
Other than that, I was a little disappointed. I was definitely running around on my gunslinger and realized that like rat ghouls have superpowers and no CC protection protects you. Literally every single one of their knockbacks, knockovers, stuns, whatever. Hunker down can be up, but you're still going down.
Oh man, that sucks.
Fortunately, my gunslinger's got enough gear that I could manage it. But
I don't know if any of you have ever had this problem, but when I was once doing the NPCs, killing those strong, I don't know what they're called, those strong rat ghouls. I was actually once trying to defeat one of those, and then for some reason, someone actually came along and started attacking it as well, and obviously that person had more aggro than me, and actually pulled it away. So I eventually lost the target, and then they ended up killing it. I don't know if that's ever happened to any of you lot.
You shouldn't have lost aggro.
Well,
sorry, you should have still gotten the loot and the credit for it.
Well, no, because they pulled it away so that it actually evaded away from me.
Reset.
All the way away.
And then they got it.
Leashed. Yeah, once it leashes, then it's
That's
resetting. So yeah, that is kind of a dirty.
Yeah, that once happened to me, and I got really annoyed.
Yeah, actually, it's something I like to do. Is if I see somebody who's low level and I can see their health getting really low and they're on my faction, and I'll just roll up and one-hit the mob for them, especially in these events since they scale. If I'm not in their group, I am not going to slow down their daily work. So.
Right. Okay, Tio, how about your week?
Let's start with raiding, which I didn't actually participate in because I was sick. And, well, first day I was sort of sick and a few other people were missing, and then second day I was really sick, and so really couldn't raid. And I know you guys sort of tried to organize something.
Right. We got the 16-man story mode ILS down, and then we went for hard mode, but unfortunately, like one of the healers and some of the DPS, were like newly leveled and so on, and we tried some switching of characters around and so on, but we weren't quite able to get the hard ILS down, so we only did a 16-man story mode, which for my character was still a new achievement. So there was that. That was it, though.
Right. Yeah, so in thinking about this, it sort of brought to the head the fact that our own 8-man group, our progression has been kind of stymied based on the fact that we only get less than 2 hours per week, which is on Thursday night, and where we had been progressing on the Saturday with our 16-man group, which is more or less doing the same stuff over and over again. So after a lot of soul searching, we have decided that we're actually going to stop the 16-man on Friday night, and we'll just continue our 8-man both days. And our goal is to clear all the hard mode content in the game before the X-Pack launches at the end of the year. So we still have some months, but we really have to get there, and we're just not getting there at the moment. So on the weekend, we may still organise some kind of 16-mans, especially once Strongholds is live as of next week. And because we have to do all the things to get all of the decorations from all the content. So,
yeah.
And lots of reasons for that.
And Kuze with the Java Joyride might put something together as well.
Indeed. All right, in my own week then, so I didn't get to play as much as I would have liked. I've been gearing up my Marauder and my Power Tech just legacy smuggling gear across. So thanks to Sleeth, our old nemesis from Galactic Starfighter,
Mhm.
who crafted a hilt for me, and otherwise just spending lots of Elite and Ultimate comms on my various characters and just sending the stuff across. And I've been doing hard mode flashpoints as a tank on my Guardian or on my Scoundrel, healing those, and that's been going really well.
Nice.
Yeah. So always get a pop because I'm always paired with Ari, who's on a tank, or I'm on the Anyway, so there's always a tank and always a healer, so that always works. And finally, I wanted to mention that I was about to start Revan, the book, the novels. Just read through that because I definitely want to do that before the X-Pack comes out.
Yeah, it's good.
But then I realized I hadn't really finished KOTOR 2. I sort of got stuck. I just
Right.
walked away from it, but then I really want to get through that. Then
Oh,
I'll
with
read
your
the
modded
books.
version, right?
Yeah. So that should be very good. Anyway, that's my week. How about you, Shell?
All right. First, shout out to the chat room. We've got Afax42 in here, Crazy Glass Guy, Daniel Z. Rob, Heather Pretty Little Sith is here, HK_Chubs, Enixis, Natoko is here, Neptune, Osa, Palace, Pez, The Pummeler, Under Mafajiro, Beware 2, Caligari, Darth Dow, Gas Guy, Jace, and Protel are all here. So hello, everyone. And let's see, this week, I ignored my overtime as much as possible and struggled to stay awake and do some playing. So on Sunday, I did my hashtag Dream Rancor and live tweeted my marathon to get the last bit of the
That was
cassettes
fun
that I
listening
needed.
into that, gotta say.
Which was all I needed was the Rancor, and got a bit better luck. So after another mere 700,000 credits, bringing the total to 4.4 million credits, I got the Rancor. So thank goodness. And I'd like to thank everyone who tweeted back to me because it really added up to the whole fun of that night and the experience. So I'll throw a couple pictures in. I also tweeted them, but I'll throw some pictures into the show notes. Also started a Jedi Knight. I just maybe it was just being so unlucky for so long on that sorcerer and going back to it every day and just I don't know what it was, but just got tired of the sorcerer. So I had a level 12 Jedi Knight, but didn't really like him. He was kind of had like a I was kind of going for like a samurai thing going on, but I don't know. I didn't dig him. So my new Jedi Knight is female, body size 1 for PvP purposes. The smaller the better.
Good.
Yeah, if they're click to target, it'll be harder to click me. And
It works so well.
yeah. And just for reference, once I got past the first talk and got to the first mailbox, I had 36 items in my inventory once I got everything out. So yeah, there was a lot. I had about half of level 1 done just from claiming titles out of the mailbox.
It's literally got to the point where I just leave everything in my mailbox now when I create a new character, because there's half the time there's just no point.
Yeah, exactly. I could, but I never really run out of space, on the first planet, so I always get to a bank before I really need to. It's not a problem. Anyway, I got to level 6 I did a slash play to see how long it took me. It took me 1 hour and 3 minutes, so that's pretty good for like non-double XP time, I think. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done characters that low, but it was fun. And just kind of blew through it, and once I get level 10, I'm sure I'll get Treek or whatever. But for now, no companion, just doing the story arc and so on. All right, and enjoying it, by the way. I'm going to go for the Sentinel. So this will be because I have a tank who's like level 48, and this is the first time I'll have a two dual wielding lightsaber on the Republic side.
Is
You had something?
audio bouncing in and out for you guys too?
Yeah, it is. I was about to bring something up. Chill, your audio volume is jumping
Okay,
up and then down.
Yeah, ever since they updated the Hangouts, it reset my settings, so I'm going to have to go figure out what that weird trick was and do it again, and unfortunately it's not anything within the program or something like that, I have to go into my Windows settings. So, ugh.
Okay. I'll work some audio magic.
Okay, thank you. All right. So that's what I plan on doing. Working on some Marauder PvP on the Empire side, and then leveling the Sentinel on the Republic side. So that'll bring us to the tip of the week. And let's see, we've got quite a few of them this time. We've got 6 of them. And let's see, I'll go ahead and start off with one from Dakar. I've noticed that if I have limited playtime, it is usually best for me to do a single level 55 hard mode group finder flashpoint, if nothing else, when I log in. Not only do you get the 10 ultimate comms from the daily quest, which add up quickly to help you get 180 gear, but you can also complete the associated weekly quest with very little effort and playtime per day. I think that this is one of the most efficient ways to gear up your character at the moment.
Certainly is, and to gear up your alts once you don't have anything to spend your comms on, and that is exactly what I've been doing. That's why it's worth doing the daily at least once per day per character. The weekly only gives you 12 ultimate comms, so it seems hardly worth doing, but if you're doing the dailies anyway, what the hell? Can't hurt.
All right.
And our second tip is from Hru, who sent us in all those emails last week about his adventures in getting the Rancor.
Yeah.
And he says, just a reminder that if you're wanting to stock up on exotic crafting materials in grade 6 and 9 and grade 6 and grade 9 mats before the arrival of strongholds, then you can also use fleet commendations from the original space missions to buy crafting material boxes from the fleet commendation vendor on Fleet. Is it true Galactic Starfighter now, the weekly now awards fleet comms?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The old normal space mission comms, yeah.
Yep. All right. He says there are now 2 types of crafting material boxes available, and they drop stacks of random mats as follows. Level 50 crafting material box for 150 fleet comms will give you grade 6 to grade 8 mats, and level 5 crafting material box costs 250 fleet comms, grade 9 to grade 10 mats. For the exotic crafting materials, you only seem to get 1 to 4, if any, but green grade 6 mats drop in full stacks of 99.
Wow.
Jeez, that's right. And for crafting those kits to get your stronghold decorations, just about anything is going to be useful. He signs off through still borderline penniless.
It is
His
also
Rancors.
well worth mentioning that those fleet comms will be usable to purchase some decorations for your stronghold as well. So
Good point.
find
I
a
think-
balance.
It's definitely given me a reason to actually go back to the original space missions now, especially because they obviously still give. Do they still give fleet commendations as well? The original ones.
Oh, yeah.
They very much do, yes.
And there's still quite a few achievements which I still need to get, and I'm sure many other people need to as well.
Oh, I do too.
So-
I'm sure I would have done enough if they had kept track from the very beginning, but by the time the achievement came around, I was kind of semi-done with the original space missions. So,
But as I'm getting the achievements, I can get some commendations as well.
absolutely,
And chill.
decent
beware-
credits too.
Yeah,
And
beware from
experience
the
if you're
chat.
leveling. Sorry.
Beware from the chat room did also mention that it's not only the weekly, also the daily GSF missions give you fleet comms.
Right.
Ooh.
Yep. All right, and let's see. Third tip from Mariachi. Been playing the game for years, and tonight I just realized this. On your friends list, you can set commands about each of your friends on the list.
Comments,
Sorry.
Jill.
Yeah. On your friends list, you can set comments about each of your friends on the list. This is a big help for keeping track of your friends' specs, such as heal, tank, or DPS, game modes you've played in, or whatever you feel like noting about them. I can't tell you how many times I thought, I'm going to add this person on my list because we just rocked in that Flashpoint or Warzone or Operation, only to find in a few days I have no idea who any of the people on my friends list are. Needless to say, having just stumbled upon this after playing the game for so long is both exciting and embarrassing.
Yes, has sort of been there all along, but yeah, it's a good feature. All right, our fourth tip is from our friend Khan's. I've heard a number of times on different podcasts I've heard a number of times on different podcasts discussion on what will happen to Fleet Chat when Galactic Strongholds comes out. Will the fleet be covered in tumbleweeds and cobwebs? Maybe we really need to wait and see, And maybe, just maybe, BioWare will come up with reasons why we'll need to go back there. My only concern with a lack of players on the fleet is I often try to pug operations as I live in a time zone that's not always the easiest to join in on guild operations. In Kansas and New Zealand, from memory. He goes on, so that brings me to my tip of the week, and I'm hoping that a lot of people that listen to you all will think it's a good idea and therefore try it out. I propose that on all servers, we make a chat channel called Off Fleet. Just one word, Off Fleet. For those who don't know, if you type /cjoin Off Fleet, you will join that chat channel. If there isn't a channel of that name, it will be automatically created. These channels are better than the general chat of Fleet, as you can be anywhere in the SWTOR galaxy on any planet, and you will still see the chats, just like our own Ootini channel.
Exactly, including operations, flashpoints, all that stuff.
Yep. And you can configure it in your chat window to appear in its own color, etc. With general chat, Carnes goes on, you need to be at the location to see the details. Back in the days of the Dalbora server, we had a channel called In-Game that we used to looking for more when it came to in-game content like operations, and it worked really well, providing people actually join the channel. So shout it out from the rooftops of your new strongholds. /cjoin Off Fleet for operations come patch 2.9. It is worth noting that the guild ships will be on Fleet Chat. They will be on Fleet Chat. I don't think we mentioned that last week. So if you happen to be on your guild capital ship, you will be seeing your own Fleet's chat. Just by the by.
I can't imagine that the fleet would be pretty dry on the chat, because there's still so much more that still goes on there. And even when I was on the PTS, there was still quite a few people on the actual fleet, even though people were trying out the strongholds.
I kind of agree, especially if the guild ships, where guilds may actually choose to congregate, if they're on the same chat as the fleet, then it's only in your personal strongholds there's a problem. And I suspect people quickly get bored if they just hang out by themselves in their personal strongholds. So, all right.
Okay. Right. So, yeah, /cjoin Off Fleet. And this is a good point, I would say, to also mention that there is a SWTOR family chat channel on virtually every server as well. So if you're interested in following the SWTOR family on Twitter or whatever, that's another good way to join up with people and talk to them. Fifth tip, all right, from Mancephalus. Are you tank spec'd and get annoyed when another tank guards you because they're too busy to check your stance? This would probably be in a war zone, but it does happen. Or are you being guarded by a player on the other side of the map while your tank friend stands next to you, unable to guard you? Well, being guarded is a buff, and as such it can be removed by clicking on the guard icon above your character health bar. This then allows you to guard or be guarded as you desire.
Our last tip is from Socordia, who we've heard about many times, and reminds us that Socordia is the Roman goddess of laziness. That's a good choice for a name, and also goes by Caranome, named after a 2008 gnome warlock who, like Socordia's great niece Caroline, was small, cute, and evil. Nice. Anyway, on to Socordia's tip. Based upon reading only, you may want to decorate your stronghold first. That is, due to Galactic Stronghold completion giving bonus to player conquests. You will have more player conquest points, or planetary conquest points, if you increase your Galactic Stronghold at the start rather than the end of the week, at least for alts below the cap. Quick travel to Dromund-Kaas is now more expensive than a Dromund-Kaas stronghold. Another tip, ship GTN mail upgrades are also devalued. That's true, though most of us have already got them for our player starships. Due to Galactic Stronghold planetary conquest bonus and items being in each stronghold, I assume everyone should have at least 3 strongholds. Buying the Kaas City Galactic Stronghold for 5,000 credits and must go decorating. That is, just sticking crap everywhere. It with 50 items will get you a 4% planetary conquest bonus. Is 50 or 300 is 1/6 divided by 4. So 10,000 credits, 50 items, and no taste will get you a 11% bonus.
All right.
And so
Nice.
Cordia asked, do we have a list of the cheapest and most expensive decorations? What is the most cost-effective way to get decorations? Players buying decorations with Warzone comms may mean the price of consumables will go up. Now, it's worth noting that for every alt that does your quest on your legacy, you do get that starter set. So you'll end up with a whole lot of metal benches and tables and, yeah,
Right.
a
Yeah,
lot
and you
of
can make a
stuff.
character do that quest and then delete it. But I guess you have to be 15 to do it the first time, right?
I didn't try that. To purchase your first stronghold, you do have to be 15, I think. But once it's on the legacy, can you just travel there from level 1? I didn't actually try that on the PTS.
That's a good question.
So when 2.10 comes up on Thursday, foreshadowing, I'll give that a try. Anyway, so Cordy
Real quick,
finishes with too
BioWare in
long
the chat room. Okay, go ahead.
Let me just finish it. So Cordia finishes, too long didn't read, hoard everything at the moment. The question is when and what to sell.
All right. And Red, what were you saying?
Beware did have a question that refers to the last tip, but if you move your guild ship to another planet, does the guild ship chat still remain with the fleet? Or does it move to the planet that you dock at?
Well, they said it was always attached to the fleet, so I can't confirm that. But I would assume it stays with the fleet, but we don't know.
I'm actually kind of hoping it does.
Yeah. Okay. By random allotment, the winner is Mancephrus. So congratulations, Mancephrus. You were the winner of the M8R3 code, courtesy of BioWare, and one of the latest Cartel Market Packs, courtesy of OotiniCast. And if you have the same, please send tip of the week meaning. Please send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com by next Wednesday for a chance to win those 2 items. And that will bring us to the holofeed. Tio?
So we've got a fair amount of news about all kinds of stuff, but let's start with strongholds. Firstly, Game Update 2.9, as far as we know, is indeed launching next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, 19 August. Let's hope that a number of the bugs that were being encountered right up until the last build on the BTS are fixed. We'll sort of know a little bit about that when 2.10 is deployed on Thursday, but, well, because that is presumably the build of 2.9 plus other stuff that will be going live. I guess we'll see. Anyway, just a couple of things I noticed from playing on the PTS since our last show. You can't travel to strongholds or your flagship using the stronghold interface if you're in an area such as a hangar once you've just exited your ship, where normal quick travel isn't available. So if you can't quick travel, you can't just bring up your stronghold window and do the travel, which is kind of annoying, and they really should fix that and let you quick travel from everywhere, because it's just kind of annoying.
Do you think maybe they could add a feature where when you click on let's say you're in the hangar and you click on your ship, you can actually choose to go to your stronghold via your ship? Because obviously you won't be able to actually click on the go to stronghold when you're in your hangar, so maybe they could add that option instead, possibly as an alternative. Because I know you can't. Because I know you can't quick travel in the hangar, which has been around for since the start.
Oh, I see. But
Since
you're
launch.
saying by clicking on their door, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah.
So that you can choose to go on your ship
Yeah.
or go to a stronghold.
Brilliant. Suggestion for him. All right.
They won't
I
listen.
also did a little infographic explaining what Swotor Miner sort of talked us through last week about how to donate pets and companions to your guild collection of items. You cannot do it through the guild bank donation box. Instead, you have to use the Stronghold interface. You click on your personal list of decorations, which will let you browse them. If you click on a mount or a companion, it will bring up a window showing the item, at least it will when they fix the bugs in it, and at the bottom there is a purchase for guild option. You can donate any mount for 50,000 credits, any pet for 25,000 credits, and someone else mentioned that you can also donate your personal achievements, such as for hard mode flashpoints, operations, etc., using this mechanism for a varying amount. I think it was 10,000 for a flashpoint, 100,000 for an operation, and I think it was $1 million for a nightmare. Don't quote me, but it was a lot. So this is the interface for donating bound things that you can't donate through the Guild Bank interface. Yeah, whether those costs are final, who knows? We'll have to wait until 2.9 goes live.
I'll tell you one thing that I encountered that I don't know if it was a bug or not, but you know the you'll have like the live mounts like the Rancor or the Raktor and all that, but they count towards NPCs, I think. I don't know if that's a bug in the PTS, but they counted towards as NPCs, and of course you can only have a certain amount of NPCs in your stronghold.
Right. Didn't they limit it to 25 in the latest build or something like that? It wasn't very much.
It starts out low and then it expands as you open up more rooms.
Right.
That could have been why then.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, and you can only, if you have a item such as a speeder or whatever in your guild collection, you can only place it once in either your guild stronghold or your flagship, at least at the moment. Unlike with player strongholds, where you can place the same speeder in each of your strongholds. So that's just the way it currently works.
Okay.
And following up from Bill's presentation in our discussion last week, he has just posted on our forums a long post, which is basically an investor's guide for Galactic Strongholds, which I will link to. Yeah. And let's just quickly go through his points. For Dark Projects, which are the items that you trade in for various things, decorations as well as the encryptions, which go towards making the for the purchasing the expanding your guild flagship. Bioware has made a change, which they've announced. You will no longer use synthetic energy matrices, as you said on the show. You will now use self-perpetuating power cells in its place. So just by the by. And he did link to the flowchart that he mentioned for grafting in Galactic Strongholds, which wasn't one he did, but he has provided the link to it, so you can check that out. And he's got the priority list of materials, which I won't go through, but you can see it in his post of how much you will need, or all the items that you'll need, and there's a lot of them, so it is ordered by order of priority, so
wow.
Start collecting. And his last point was the 4 wildcard exotic mats that will be needed for Dark Projects is the largest opportunity for gain, largest risk of loss if you're speculating on them. So they're kind of expensive at the moment. Ricardo energy cells, Ricardo energy nodes, self-perpetuating power cells, alien data cubes, and biometric crystal alloys. More reasons to be running the old operations in which those things drop.
Those exotic ones, are those only for the guild ships, or are they used in your own?
They're only for the Dark Projects, and there are some decorations which require Dark Projects from memory.
For your stronghold?
Or yeah, either.
Okay. Bummer. I'd love to be able to sell them all because I know I can't use it in my own personal place.
Sell them anyway, and then buy stuff back later, maybe.
I guess that's true. After the spike.
Mm-hmm. Ride that wave. All right. So Galactic. Let me reset. So they closed the PTS just a couple of days ago. Presumably that's it. And again, let's hope there's a bunch of bug fixes that have been incorporated, because otherwise, bad things. But we can hope. Game Update 2.10, which they have announced will be coming out on 9 September, which is 3 weeks after the release of 2.9. So Game Update 2.10 is going to be on the PTS US Thursday, so in a couple of days.
When
already
this is released. Yeah.
Indeed. So, yeah. Now, the one thing it does not, the PTS will not include, is the third and final tactical flashpoint, which is part of and concludes the Forged Alliance's story arc. The reason is it will be in 2.10, but they don't want people to experience it before they've had a chance to do the Depths of Vanan, which is coming in 2.9 on Tuesday. So as we guess,
foresight.
Okay.
That's exactly where it's that will be it. There will be that third tactical flashpoint, so just in 3 weeks. So it's not too far off. Where that is going to be, they haven't told us. If you're following Swode or Miner, you will know, and awesome. But yeah, we won't spoil that for anyone. So just wait and see. But awesome.
Can't wait.
Yep, it's pretty good. So what is in 2.10? Firstly, they are removing the Nightmare Power buff from Dread Palace, as they did ages ago with Dread Fortress, which, as we know, means that even though the boss's health in Nightmare Mode Dread Palace will remain the same, they will hit less hard, basically hard mode level, and etc.
Basically, the difference being a little bit of health and some of the like an additional mechanic.
The additional Nightmare Mode mechanics remain. It's just that the bosses will be easier. So, and that will remove the chance of getting the title from Nightmare Dread Palace, whatever that was. So that will be with 2.10. So you will have 3 weeks basically from 2.9 if you're still running Nightmare Mode to get it finished. In addition, the only other thing in 2.10 will be a bunch of class changes, and these will be, as I've said previously, the final class changes before the expansion at the end of the year. So let's have a quick walk through them. The first one affects the middle tree for Jedi Knights and Marauders, Sith Marauders. Now, these are all effectively buffs. So let's just talk through it briefly. From the Jedi Knight's point of view, Opportune Attack, which is a talent that's about midway up the combat tree, now triggers 50 to 100% of the time, based on 1 or 2 skill points, and that's an increase from 15 to 30% of the time. So basically, yep, it makes your next Blade Storm deal 10% more damage, and it triggers on Ataro form, dealing damage, and Ataro form deals damage 20% of the time. So that's just basically a flat buff. Every time, basically, that you get that, your Blade Storm will deal 10% more damage.
20% of the time, but then there's like a talent higher in the tree that makes Ataro form proc as well.
Indeed, but you'll have to go fair way up the tree to get that.
Yeah, that's full build.
Yep. And ditto, there's another buff for Hand of Justice, which finishes the cooldown on Precision Slash and Dispatch, making your next dispatch free, no force or rage cost, and usable on a target with any health with any health. Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, which is on any.
It's like a truck.
Can't occur more than once every 20 seconds. Oof. And yeah. So it used to trigger 50, 30, 45%, 1 or 2, 3 skill points. Now it'll be 33, 67, 100% of the time.
Right.
Wow. So
it'll basically happen every 20 seconds. Because the 20-second cooldown is now the full gate on that one.
Wow. So nice buff for combat. Middle tree. Now for Watchmen, not that we needed any more buffs, but this is only a slight one. The Mind Seer talent, which basically means that Slash, Dispatch, Merciless Slash being your big hit, which you're going to be using on cooldown, now has a, let's see, it did have a rate limit. It could only reset basically your dot, reset the cooldown on your dot every 6 seconds. Now they've taken that away. So basically, you're going to be resetting your dot's cooldown pretty much instantaneously. So there were some cases where the dot could actually run down before you could actually apply it again without a resetting, and now that's probably not going to happen anymore. So
no, that will never happen, yeah.
So the dot will basically be up all the time.
Pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, so that'll be awesome. Now, we have some changes for snipers and gunslingers, particularly, well, to the right-hand tree, which is engineering for gunslingers and saboteur for snipers. And Red, can you please talk us through?
Engineering for snipers and saboteur for smugglers, yeah. I'm actually pretty excited about this. So, of course, smugglers, universally, their sabotage charge is Sabotage Charge's base cooldown has been reduced by 18 seconds, which is from 30.
Or 18 seconds, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
which is
so
great.
12
Sabotage,
seconds off. Yeah, it used to be like you'd almost forget about it because it was only available once in a while, so you'd use it early in a fight, and then it would take so long to come up again, you'd almost forget about it.
yeah, Sabotage Charge, or if you did that hybrid Saboteur and Dirty Fighting combo, Sabotage Charge was actually really fundamental to it because you get the additional stacks.
Right.
This is actually quite a buff. I mean, they're cutting in half how often you can put it up, and it's not a dot. It triggers off of anybody's blaster or basically ranged weapon attacks, which means that your troopers and other people can be triggering it for you. So
Right.
it's a big,
awesome.
big damage buff. But the damage has been decreased by 11%. But again, if you can put it up twice as often, an 11% reduction is actually a net gain.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's always too good to be true.
Yeah, and
What's interesting?
and in that spec, in the middle spec, it's also an energy regen for you. So it's also a regen boost.
And this is
Energy regen
Smuggler.
boost.
So what's funny is this is an ability that's only usable in cover. And operatives can be using this actually pretty frequently. I've heard that operatives and scoundrels for PvP actually use this a lot in order to really generate some burst damage. So they're going to be able to use it a lot more often. That's actually pretty cool. As for Gunslinger only changes, it's strictly bound to the Saboteur tree. And you've got jury-rigged mods. Now reduces the energy cost of Charged Burst by 2, 4, and 6 energy in addition to its other effects.
Oh.
So it's an added benefit to that talent point. A target can now only be impacted by a maximum of 2 scatter bombs per hightail it. Damage per bomb has been increased by 50%. So this kind of helps with the stacking scatter bomb bug. You can only get hit by 2, but they're going to increase how much. Huh? Yeah, the roll bang.
The wall bang. Yeah. Roll bang. Yeah.
And wall bang. Yeah. It's which is it makes it useful when you're not exploiting the system.
Right.
You know, a little bit more beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. Better when you're not hitting them with every bomb that you drop.
Right, and I haven't seen anywhere that they have figured out how to fix the wall banging.
Yeah.
But at least it's limiting how much damage is going out, but still giving you a boost so that you can do more significant damage to a single target. Incendiary Grenade has been redesigned. This is actually really neat. Incendiary Grenade no longer has a cooldown. So previously it had a cooldown that matched its duration, so you could always have it up. But now it doesn't have a cooldown, and so you can redeploy, but you can only have one deployed at a time, which is really neat. If you've got tanks that are constantly moving the bosses, or you're in a PvP environment or whatever, you can redeploy that over and over and over again. And it's got a wicked slow tied into it, so for PvP it could be a real pain in the butakas because effectively they can't get out of it.
Right.
The damage for the Incendiary Grenade is also now distributed evenly throughout the grenade's duration, so it's not front-loaded or back-loaded. I can't remember which it was. I thought it was
front-loaded.
Yeah. And the damage is dealt every second. Overall damage has been increased by 22%. So another big damage increase. A target under the effect of shock charge who is hit by incendiary grenade damage, not just the initial strike, so they might go rolling through it, is now stunned. But they can only be stunned once every 18 seconds. So this is clearly a PvP impact.
Right.
But overall, I mean, this is Saboteur getting quite a bit of single target damage increase.
Definitely.
I'm actually really looking forward to this because I want to play with it. I will probably be on the test server come Thursday because I'm very curious to see how this plays out. It makes it a much more compelling tree, and I really enjoyed it for leveling before. And they didn't do anything to nerf the AoE rock star nature of this tree that already exists. They, in fact, buffed the AoE as well, so I just... Heaven forbid me laying down AoE in an operation, because there's no way in hell a tank is going to be able to hold the group together.
All right. Now, we also have some class changes for Jedi Consulars, and Jedi Consulars and Sith Inquisitors, particularly for sages and sorks specifically. And this is for the Master Speed talent, which is basically way up in the healing tree, like rank 7 of 8.
Right.
So right up the top. So this is only for healers. Now, Master Speed now places a hindered effect on enemies around the sage or sork when they use their force speed. Now, what's the hindered effect, you may ask? Well, it's a debuff, this is in the words of Tate Watson, that was introduced last year with the introduction of the ability Electronet.
Oh my gosh.
That horrible Electronet.
Yes. While hindered, the target cannot use high mobility actions and escapes, such as charges, vanishes, and speed boosts.
Yeah.
Now, before anyone panics, as I sort of did initially, Electronet does a whole lot of stuff. It snares the target, which reduces movement speed by 50%, and deals a bunch of damage over time, the longer that if you try and move. Stacks
That's
up
right, and the
10
further
times.
you move, the more damage it does, right?
Additionally, it does the hinder thing. So you're only getting the hindered effect when you force speed away.
Okay, so basically it's just you can't be tumbled after, sprinted after, whatever, but you're not
Or
taking
leapt
damage, you're not
to.
being slowed, you're just
Mhm.
having those abilities turned off.
Right.
Correct. Now, David Demery, who's a class designer at BioWare, working on this, he then did a really long post that went into more detail about it. The hindered effect will last up to 4 seconds currently and can affect up to 8 enemy targets within 8 meters of the Sage Sork when force speed is used.
Cool.
It's hit checked, so if you've reduced their ability to hit you, it may miss, which is kind of cool.
Or
The
rather,
idea
I think-
of it,
I think you mean the opposite, right? If you have a lowered chance to hit, you will not place it.
Right.
effectively, yes, but that's right. It doesn't, but it does not slow or deal damage or do anything else. It's just purely stopping people from chasing you or whatever. And the idea is, what you want to do is line of sight or whatever. That's the idea. So the Sork or Sage will sprint away. This is only for healers, remember. No one else will be able to reach this in their trees. And, so it's a survivability thing. It's
Right.
not hindered effect is not broken by damage
It's a
and
pretty
has
strong
no
one,
effect
though.
on resolve.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because basically no one else will be able to get to you, and you will be long gone since you just to get it you just used your force speed. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's going to be a severe movement or a crazy good movement ability. I can imagine this being very powerful in that ball, for instance.
Is 4 seconds too long? Is it not long enough? David asks. Is an 8-meter radius too large? So these are just things they're playing with at the moment. All these numbers are variable and can be changed. So if you have a problem with any of this, with some rationale behind it, obviously feel free to contribute on the forums where there are threads about all of these class changes.
Has no effect on resolve, so I assume that means it also, if you are fully resolved, you can still get it.
That would be the implication, wouldn't it?
Wow, that's powerful too. Because usually once you're resolved, you're yes, granted, slows can still affect you, but a lot of other CC cannot. So
Exactly. What was the other one? Oh, they did also talk about force management and the fact that people want no noble sacrifice or consumption to not have a health cost, and they said, well, no, because it would just make it way too powerful. It would just trivialize force management in PvE specifically.
Yeah.
And if they made it the set bonus for the PvP only, that means that in PvE the sages and sorks would be PvPing to get that particular set bonus to use in operations, etc. So not going to happen.
right.
It's not that bad as a mechanic and does kind of make it fun and challenging. Anyway,
Yeah, I kind of suspect that there are solutions outside of this idea. I know that a lot of people really like the idea, but I think there are probably some better solutions that they could come up with.
yeah. Now, the other changes are to the assassin and the shadow in the middle tree, which is deception for assassins. And I can't really talk to it because I haven't played my deception assassin in a long time. So we may talk about that more last week. Looking at the changes themselves, they appears to be a straight buff. Anyone got any more insight into that? Just a straight damage buff.
For which? Sorry.
Deception assassin.
There is one drawback that you get fewer stacks of the breaching shadows, which is a slight nerf, but yeah, it looks like overall it's definitely a buff.
Right. Okay, so overall, all of these class changes, and there may be some further tweaks, in 2.10, 3 weeks away after 2.9 goes live on Tuesday, will be on the PTS this week. So please try and respond to BioWare's feedback. They are being extremely responsive, as they have demonstrated recently, to player suggestions as far as all this goes. So there is time to actually affect this if you choose. And they've actually asked for people to post some parsers, combat parsers, in the thread on the forums using the rules, basically that Pears told us about a few episodes back, using your target dummy, 1,000,000 health, armor reduction debuff, all of that stuff. So,
Excellent.
Right.
I'll do that with my gunslinger for sure.
excellent.
Do you think people are going to try out the class changes on the PTS? Because in previous updates on the PTS, not many people's been actually doing the class changes unless they've got something to do it with, something new to do it with. I mean, I'm sure they got Forged Alliance Part 2, but people's played that now on the PTS. Do you really think that's going to be enough to keep them going?
There's a certain amount of testing that will absolutely happen concerning, attacking dummies and whatnot. As to actually getting war zones to proc or going in and doing operations, that's a lot less likely. But usually you get at least one or two groups that go in and as a huge group and queue up simultaneously or try a few of the operations anyway.
Well, yeah, it's still going to be tested in the end.
Now, just for Deception Assassins from Pez, he said they took away some of the front-loaded burst for more sustained damage, better for PvE, but a nerf for PvP. So he reckons it's a kind of weird change. So
it's an interesting thing though, because the third tree was kind of becoming the go-to tree, I think, for both PvE and PvP. At least at this stage, it's got some PvE viability.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always people that will play the tree no matter what state it's in. But at least now, and you can tell there's definitely sustain in particular because they're reducing cost. Force for a shadow or an assassin it's a highly rapid replacement.
Right.
So if you reduce the cost, which they've done on abilities, how much force that consumes, what that inherently means is that they can actually be using a lot more abilities more frequently.
Yep.
All right, let's move on then. Talk about Gamescom happening in Cologne, Germany right now. There is the Community Cantina, which will be on Friday night, 15 August. We know at least someone who will be reporting back that ToroCast will be going. I don't know if any of our listeners will be doing a summary for us, but that'd be great if you happen to be there.
Come on, Charlie.
I wish they would come to the UK because we got a convention at the end of September, which I'm going to, the EGX, and I really want them to come there, but they just don't. No, I really want them to come. I really want to meet
plane, Charlie. Isn't it like free to travel anywhere in Europe or something?
You can drive through the channel.
I can't drive yet. I'm learning. I'm learning to drive right now, actually.
Oh.
I guess you'll have to get a Eurorail pass or something.
Yeah. Not gonna be cheap, unfortunately.
Now, at Gamescom, they did release a new trailer for Galactic Strongholds, which is coming out really soon, obviously, which is kind of cool. It's very slick, actually. They've really sort of refined down the key points. It's kind of cool. Might get some people to sub maybe before 19 August to get their free Nar Shaddaa Stronghold with no rooms. But, oh well, I mean, you save a few credits at least. Now, this isn't SWOTOR related, but I'm going to mention it anyway because they have announced a new IP at Bioware Austin. It's called Shadow Realms. And you may recognize some of the names associated with it. Studio Creative Director, Bioware Austin, James Olin, apparently is heavily involved, as is Design Director Gabe Amatangelo, and lead writer Hall Hood. So all names familiar from SWOTOR, though we haven't heard them do anything SWOTOR related for quite a while. And now we know why. So they've been working on Shadow Realms. Now, this, from what we found out so far, it was a big reveal at Gamescom, so it's all early days yet. You can find out more at shadowrealms.com. It is a 4v1, which means that one player or person is the Games Master, Dungeon Master. 4 players are in the group, and it's a kind of direct the players versus the Games Master, Dungeon Master, just like a tabletop RPG session. So this would seem to be another attempt to replicate the tabletop RPG feel online. So good luck to them. There is an alpha. You can sign up now if you are interested. No idea where this is going. It seems to be sort of a contemporary setting similar to The Secret World. Maybe, but they've got wizards and stuff. So Shadowrun. I don't know. Anyway, so
But
this is Bioware Austin.
It's set in a modern day, isn't it?
Seems to be. So more contemporary, yeah.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, alternative reality, fantasy, but sort of set in the modern era. It sounded like, yeah.
I'm slightly disappointed because I wanted it to be like the original BioWare games where it's all single player and you've got to obviously choose your choices like the way BioWare does things, but obviously they want to change it up this time around. Which is only fair.
I never thought that I would get into any card games like Magic the Gathering or anything, but I've recently very much gotten into Hearthstone because it was done right. If they can do it right, I could see myself exploring this.
There have been attempts in the past. I mean, by BioWare, their Neverwinter Nights, the RPG, did sort of have elements of this.
Right.
But this seems to be more direct. If they can make it awesome, then why not? Now, as far as whether this will affect SWOTOR, given all those familiar names, I would guess not, but then I'm the eternal optimist. I reckon that BioWare Austin is just hoping to expand, and they are hiring people, and there is the SWOTOR team, but some of the senior people are simply moving on to new work, and they've got their dedicated team working on Star Wars. These guys are working on this, which is in no sense a competitor as far as I can tell. At least it's 4v1 thing. This is not an MMO in any sense. Well,
No, not really, is it? Yeah, it doesn't sound like. Yeah. And it's already been asked if I, saw anything about this when I was on my trip to Austin, and all I can say is that I'm still under NDA, so...
I cannot comment on that.
No comment.
Give us a little clue.
Well,
The clue is that he's under
no.
NDA. He could say, I've never heard of anything like this.
He
Instead,
can't
says,
say anything, so let's not press him.
With this, I would say yes, no, and no comment. But did you know about Shadow Realms? Add it a little bit.
I'd never heard that term until today, but...
There you go. All right. Say no more. And another name familiar is Dallas. Dallas Dickinson is actually leading up the effort, it sounds like. So, again, another name from SWOTOR. Again, we hadn't heard from for a long time. So, anyway, we'll keep an eye on it, being a BioWare thing. So, yeah.
It sounds like fun. It sounds more cooperative. It does sound like a tabletop D&D game, but one of my other favorite games from back in the day was Dungeon Keeper and Dungeon Keeper 2, where it was kind of like you'd build a dungeon and then the game would send these parties of adventuring heroes to come and and come and try to blow up your dungeon. And I had a lot of fun with Dungeon Keeper 2, so I'm hoping it has a little of that as well, but we'll see. I really don't know.
Exactly. All right, and pretty much last in the news, because there hasn't been that much else happening recently in the lead up to Strongholds, the ranked PvP Season 2 rewards have been confirmed we did talk about this
Yes.
last week. We just referenced Dolphy's post where people had the rewards mailed to them on the PTS, and we're thinking, really? Is that it? And maybe they were going to talk about more. And apparently, well, no, that was it. And I did include a nice picture. Yeah, this has been doing the rounds. I've seen it on Twitter and on Reddit. It's a picture of a cat with a Darth Vader helmet, looking quite perturbed, and the caption is, "I did SWTOR Season 2 ranked PvP, and all I got was this stupid hat." So,
yes, this is the famous Grumpy Cat. So, yeah.
All right.
He's a thing unto himself. But, yeah.
So, the rewards. They have announced the 3 tiers, and they had told us ages ago there were only going to be 3 tiers instead of 5. If your ranked PvP rating is less than 1275, you will get the title Season 2 Tier 3. Is it just the Professional?
Professional.
Oh, it's like a Tier 3 title, Professional.
Yes.
It's better than Amateur or Lame Ass or whatever I got last season.
Now,
Right.
if you've gone died a lot, you are a professional.
Right. That's just for turning up, I guess.
Right.
And you do get a bronze trophy decoration for your stronghold.
Okay. It has an Arabesh 2. Yeah. An Arabesh 2 and a PvP picture.
Yay. And okay, for Tier 2, this is where you actually presumably didn't suck too badly. Between 1275 and 1599, that is the rating band, you get the unique Season 2 title, Tier 2 title. Well, what is it? Just Champion? What is the actual title that you will see above your head?
Champion.
Just Champion.
Yep.
That's the only place they're ever going to use Champion?
Apparently.
I thought that was already a champion title.
It might be.
Maybe they're going to put the S2.
Yeah, I was going to say it might be Season
Maybe.
2, because they did add that, and I don't think they included the fact that it was going to be Season 1 when they told us what the titles were for Season 1.
Alright, so you'll get a silver decoration for your wall, it is just a poster. And it looks just
Identical.
like the bronze one, but it's
Yeah.
silvery.
Yes.
But
Same picture.
Will you just get the silver one, or will you get silver and bronze?
no, you'll just get the silver one. Don't be
Yeah.
greedy. But you'll also get the hollow replica of Garada the Hutt's pleasure barge, which is now that's kind of cool, gotta say.
Right. That was one of the ones. It was
Stronghold.
available when I was over in Austin. It's really quite big. It's not a little tiny one. It's a good size one.
Alright, so that'll make a nice centerpiece for your room.
Yeah.
One of your rooms.
It would
in your
definitely be a
store.
room centerpiece sort of item.
Now, alright, so if you're awesome, if your rating was 1600 or above, you will get the title, presumably S1 All-Star or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You will get a gold version of that poster, which is just like the others except goldy. And you do get the hollow replica of Garada the Hutt's pleasure barge, which is mentioned is pretty cool. But you get Baron Deathmark's Hut Ball helmet.
Wow.
Yeah.
You get a hat
Ooh.
that Twi'leks can't wear.
And the
Probably
picture
not.
they showed is Canned, who you can actually hear on the latest episode of OotiniCast. Apparently they stole his name without actually asking him. And apparently that is him.
But
So-
in fairness, it is their game.
They didn't ask him and they didn't credit him.
but he's now famous, the famous Canned All-Galaxy Mercenary. Which
So-
isn't actually the title, but
Fair warning, Lori from our chat room is the one that started the meme about only getting this hat.
well done, Laurie. That was pretty funny.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
bit shameful. Now, well,
It's not the prettiest helmet.
basically, does anybody else notice that aside from the hat that one species can't even display, that none of these rewards are usable without first purchasing a stronghold?
Even the helmet.
Well, there is that,
okay,
isn't it?
except the titles.
And the
The
titles, yeah.
titles and the helmet. Yeah, everything else are decorations for strongholds. All right, so we actually will go through the reasoning behind all this, which people have elaborated on from BioWare. But before we do so, we do have the rewards for the top 3 performers in each advanced class, and that is, they didn't go per server. This is game-wide, so top 3 is, as we've commented before, kind of meaningless based on the way ELO works, but whatever.
Definitely gameable as well.
Yep. All right. They get the 3 highest rated characters of each advanced class are getting a very unique title. Very unique. Shouldn't say that. But anyway, the All Galaxy title that is specific to the advanced class of the characters that receives it. For example, All Galaxy Guardian. Only 96 characters in the game will receive this reward.
Wow.
Right.
It's a shame the title wasn't Guardian of the Galaxy. Yeah.
So, I'm sure you're all wondering, was there a massive spike in participation in ranked PvP based upon the revelation of these rewards? So, I did actually run my analysis over the entirety of Season 2, and the answer to that is no. Yeah, in fact, no, it didn't really dip, but it hasn't really gone up at all. In fact, it's pretty flat since the actual announcement. So,
Right.
yeah.
And I must say, active in last week's seems to be kind of low.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well. So, all right, so we did have a number of posts from BioWare about this.
Can I just say they dropped the ball before I start going on a wicked rant?
All right, so you can say that, but let's just talk through the posts, and then we'll insert your rant, and then we'll decide whether we keep it in the show or cut it.
Okay.
All right, so firstly, I just want to pop in and explain where we're coming from with having decorations as part of the rewards. They decided to, because we wanted to give PvPers something that only they would get in this brand new feature, which is Galactic Strongholds.
And I agree.
No
with
one
that.
else is getting these specific trophies or the Pleasure Barge ever. So these are truly 100% unique to ranked PvP. So that is good.
Too. Yes.
for
I don't
Season
think
2.
many people are going to complain this time, unlike last season.
Yeah, so as far as dropping balls go, that's maybe they haven't quite dropped it. Maybe they're kind of juggling a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Maybe.
good theory. It's a terrible execution.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's why decorations truly unique. Now, they went on to say, in answer to a few questions that people have obviously been raising in response to the announcement of these rewards, the overwhelming feedback from Season 1 was that reskinned items are not desirable. That is, they truly wanted something with unique. The Rancor obviously comes to mind. While the Season 1 Rancor was awesome in its appearance, and the ones that we won from the casino and the one you buy from the cartel market, one from the cartel market are kind of fugly, well, they're still Rancors.
Right.
I still ride mine. No problem there. Anyway, so for Season 2, they wanted to give reward models that couldn't be found in any other content channel, such as Deathmark's helmet, which again is 100% unique. Thank whatever. And no one else will ever see that again. Or probably wear it.
Thank goodness.
However, it is unique, 100% unique.
Right. Okay, well, fair point, I suppose.
It's amazing how they understand that reskin models for PvP content is not desirable, but they still do it for cartel packs.
Well, there's never going to be a Grada's helmet in a cartel pack, ever. So,
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it'd be
that's
nice, but a lot of the cartel pack stuff is just reskinned anyway. But it'd be nice if it was actually slightly different.
right. We were wondering why they had their suggestion thread, like, just after Season 2 started. And isn't it going to be a bit late for Season 2 rewards? And, well, it turned out it was. And they are definitely monitoring that thread, and they're using the thread to plan rewards for Seasons 3, 4, and 5. And yes, we're already working on Season 5. So,
okay.
too
I
bad.
guess they're getting ahead of the game, so that's good.
so
Or
we
just
could
leaving the
assume,
game behind.
we could assume that these rewards are a little lackluster, one could say. little drop ball, maybe. But that it may actually be a hell of a lot better going forward. So let's not give up on them, and they are listening to that suggestion, which actually has some good ideas from what I saw. And finally, Red, before you go.
I'm waiting.
Ranked PvP needs some improvements on multiple fronts, and they are working diligently to address the issues. They aren't ready to discuss the specifics, but rest assured we are not satisfied with the ranked PvP experience and are going to be improving upon it. And they'll be sharing details as soon as they know. And we did have a message from James who posted this picture of a ranked PvP arena match. Multi-boxing against yourself with the same name? Really? So some player was multi-boxing, had another computer running the game, and had just queued himself so he was turning up on both sides. So obviously one player was effectively throwing the match, so his other player could actually win. That's a pretty egregious example. But the big problem with ranked PvP at the moment, at least solo is a joke, basically, because of queue syncing mainly. If there was cross-server, maybe it would be better, but still, in thinking about this, my personal solution is to drop solo ranked altogether, because it's never going to make it work. But that's just me. Only make it team-based would seem to be a better way of doing it. Maybe do 3s in addition to 4s or something. But yeah, solo ranked is just bad for all kinds of reasons. It's just gameable, which is what it comes down to. If everyone played it fairly and there was a good-sized population, fine. But it's just never going to happen. Anyway, Red, tell us. Hey, what do you think?
Well, clearly, since they're already working on Season 5, they've been done with Season 2 for a very long time and decided to wait till the very last minute to tell us because they just didn't want to deal with the fact that they knew they were giving us crap. But seriously, giving out all rewards other than a helmet and titles, basically you have to be one of the very best in order to even get an item that you can use. Until strongholds come out, and then you've got to use the credits that you don't make in PvP in order to purchase a stronghold to even display it, which is just kind of not a PvP thing. And since there's no achievements that give you any kind of decorations to tie into the strongholds, then what the heck are you giving me rewards that are strongholds? Like, it just makes no sense.
Red, let's just point out the faction-specific strongholds are extremely cheap, so it's not like anyone can't afford it.
You still have to go buy it to even be able to access your reward.
Yeah, alright, fine.
You have to go participate in something outside of what you like to play the game as if you're this dedicated to be in the top tier.
Okay.
In order to even show it to anybody.
And even then, there's going to be some people who don't want to show it to anybody.
I will totally accept that I love the notion. I mean, first of all, okay, yeah, the barge looks cool, but again, it's a stronghold thing. The hat, like, I get the idea. It's very cool that they decided to give something that would never return in a reskin, and you can change it up however you want with a die slot, but otherwise, it's yours and no one else will be able to get it after this. But it's a hat, and Twilix can't wear it, so automatically it's gone. And most people actually want to show off the character they created, their face, so most people don't even play with their hood up. And it's just like, why would you choose? That's like choosing your bracers. And it's almost as bad, a unique bracer set. But it's just like they clearly weren't looking at their form before, like you said. They already had their idea what they were going to go with, and they dropped the ball. This is very directly. I think the reason why the PvP community is all upset, it's not really because of the quality of these rewards per se. It's much more about the fact that this is a step backwards from Season 1, way backwards. And yes, of course, there's whiny people moaning and groaning that the ranker got reskinned, except it's still a strikingly unique reskin, and no one can deny exactly where you got it from. And most people don't bitch in the forums, or don't go running into the forums and cheer and say, I love it, I love it, I love it. You're not going to get hordes of people coming to the forums to tell you how much they love the mount. Of course, you're only going to hear a negative response. Last season was much better than this. I mean, that's what it really boils down to. I mean, if you're going to limit it from 5 tiers of rewards to 3, then why did you also make the rewards so much worse?
Neptune does point out that given you have to be subbed to play ranked, chances are everyone's got the free Nashadar Stronghold, so just consider that.
Fair
I'll
point.
give you good point for that. Good point for that. But that also actually reminds me of my other rant, which is the fact that hey, listen, we're going to give you guys horrible rewards for season 2, and you're the only ones that are absolutely required to pay us monthly money. You are the 100% absolute most dedicated, guaranteed. You must be handing over money month to month to even participate in this aspect of the game, and nobody else does. But we're still going to spit on you.
All right, so I guess we could say that maybe they recognize that ranked PvP isn't in such a good place at the moment, particularly solo, and maybe they're going to try and fix that somehow, and maybe their rewards will be commensurate with actually making it a really good experience. At the moment, it's kind of lackluster, so...
Whereas really what they're
lackluster
doing is they're shooting it in the foot, because as they acknowledge, it's about numbers and generating participation, and what they're doing is they're decreasing participation.
Or
But
at least
I
not
don't
getting
think
the
it'll get
boost.
much worse, basically.
Yeah.
What was
I
the
don't
total
play it because
population that
what's the
participated last season compared to this season? Because I thought it was higher this season after the rewards were announced.
Well, it was initially, but then sunk pretty quickly, looking at the numbers. Group has remained relatively steady, and looking at the numbers from last season, it isn't that much different. But yeah, we'll have to
The
check
total
that.
number of people that have participated hasn't changed.
Yeah,
I thought we were up by like 5,000 for this season of unique players or characters.
maybe. We'll check that and go back to it next week.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, yeah, so that's why I think it's a misstep. But otherwise, I mean, I really do like the notion of a unique item. It's a very good idea. It should be something that you can show off on the fleet or wherever you are and not have to go and hide in your house where nobody really goes to, anyway, unless you can somehow advertise on the public display, hey, listen, I got the number one. Maybe if they gave you a stronghold title to go with it, so that at least in the directory people would know that you had some unique PvP display items. But it's a great idea. The hat is the worst thing you could have chosen of any of the, well, not any, but come on, give us a chest piece. It's better than a helmet.
Yeah.
I think they should have just
I
gone with a
can-
mount, even if it was a
Yeah,
reskin. They should have honestly stayed with rankers and just make it really significant, maybe different colors or something. They could even reskin the current PvP mount with different colors, and it would still, that would even reinforce the notion that this is a unique way to get this type of item in the game.
Alright. Let's not beat it to death.
What if they gave instead like a full armor set as a reward? Would that be a little bit more better? Do you think? They gave a whole armor set.
It's just a lot of work.
That'd be cool.
Just a lot of work for a unique set, which only a small part of the player base will get. A small part of the player base participate in PvP, and then a small part of that percentage of them. So maybe they just don't want to spend it on something that so few players will actually get. Anyway,
Armor's tricky anyway, because weapons you can't do because there's different classes, and it's either chest or helmet. Helmet, is what is is very defining, but so is chest. Yeah, they went with helmet, so.
I think the one thing that is actually kind of hopeful is that they say they're working and trying to make big changes, and the one thing I disagree with you on, Tio, is I do legitimately believe that if they made it preferred and sub, put a gear check on it, and then also made it cross-server, I think that I think there would be a much larger participation, and that queue syncing couldn't happen even for singles.
I
Just
would actually
because-
say you would put in an explicit guard against queue syncing. That is, two accounts couldn't actually be matched together within some time limit. Like you get
Well, they
matched
should-
with someone, that won't happen again for an hour or 2 hours or something to prevent that.
Yeah, if the population is large enough, that's totally doable. And you could even just put it in as if you've got each other in a friends list, or you're in the same guild, you can't queue sync.
Mhm.
And I would say you wouldn't even need cross-server if you can get the free-to-play going. That'd be a huge boost by itself.
Maybe.
I think so too, but I know that a lot of people think that the cross server is
It would
just
certainly,
necessary.
I know a lot of people, are excited about the idea of cross server, but opening it up to free to play or is a much simpler solution that is technically doable, almost like tomorrow.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell.
They don't even have to do it
We're
all the
talking
time.
exactly
They could.
like nightmare operations where you can consume a token and have unrestrained access for a week.
All right. Anyway, let's leave that there,
Mhm.
and that's the news.
All right. That brings us to the community corner, and we have some of Tio's picks.
Firstly, thanks to Scott Thomas and Grim for the continuing regular donations. If you do want to throw a few dollars our way, you can do so via a PayPal link on OotiniCast.com. And we actually had a tweet from Scott Thomas. Heard Tio say, "I'm glad you asked," in episode 158, wondering if this was a nod to The Curiosity Show, which was aired in Australia in the 1980s. And it certainly wasn't deliberate, but given how much I loved that show when I was growing up, it's entirely possible it's sunk into my subconscious somewhere. So, maybe.
I know what happened. Yeah, that sort of thing happens to me all the time. I say stuff and it's actually a direct quote from Python or MST3K or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And also in the community, we have two Star Wars The Old Republic podcasts joining our ranks. Well, one of them
Nice.
is actually coming back. So let's start with Old Republic Radio. They have started with episode 73. That does indeed pick up from where they left off.
Awesome.
How long have they been silent? Any idea?
I think it was about a year.
Yeah, a year.
Yeah, I thought it was over a year too.
It's over a year, I'm pretty sure.
So the new
That's great,
host
though.
is Neptune, who has been a regular in our chat
Oh,
room.
cool.
He's from
Yeah.
the Old Republic Dads on the Shadowlands server. And he is the host. The
That's
host
awesome.
of Old Republic Radio. He was on the show prior to its last going silent. He has fresh new co-hosts, Alexius and Rexar, and they have put out their first episode. So subscribe. We'll include all the links. They're on Mog Nation. They have been part of Mog Nation since for quite a while, back when they were also last broadcasting. So Old Republic Radio, welcome back.
Very
Why
cool.
did they originally stop then? Why did they originally stop doing the podcast?
Actually, I don't know. They just
They
stopped.
didn't. They didn't have an exit episode. They just stopped.
Was their last episode the interview with Amber? They had a really good interview
It might have
right
been.
towards the end. Yeah.
I remembered enjoying their show. It stopped, and then one day I looked at my feed and realized, wow, the last one was a month ago. Unsub.
All right. But we also have. Now, there is a certain amount of, dare I say, controversy here. So, you all remember SWTOR Reforged from the Quest Gaming
of course.
Network. That show has now stopped.
Right.
There were creative differences, I believe is the appropriate term, between Avawan, Lou, and Fred. Lou and Fred have gone their own way and have started their own podcast called Star Wars Beyond the Stars. Now, Avawan has done a update to the Quest Gaming Network, a video show where he did sort of explain what happened. It was a fairly amicable parting of the ways, more or less. There is a reference in the episode 0 of the first episode of Star Wars Beyond the Stars to Ivarwan's character. It was all in-game, and it wasn't particularly friendly, and we didn't know about it when we contributed, or I contributed at least, to it. So I probably wouldn't have done it like that, but
There you have it.
take it as it is.
Did you see have you listened to their episode 1 yet?
Not episode 1, only the episode 0, which was all roleplay, the half-hour introduction.
Yeah, like they did when they relaunched SWTOR Reforged.
Yeah. So anyway, they are not on iTunes yet. There is the RSS feed available. We'll include all the links to them as well. So welcome, Star Wars Beyond the Stars, taking the place of SWTOR Reforged.
I've
And
got
of
it for
course,
you for Old Republic Radio. Episode 72 was August 14th.
Wow.
Episode 73 was August 13th. So one day shy of a year.
One day show here. Wow.
Very good. Welcome back, guys. There is a huge array of SWOTOR podcasts right now. It's good to
Yeah,
see.
congratulations on that
Community's
in particular.
There's a lot of competition now.
Yeah, somebody in my
Yes.
live stream was actually saying he knew of, I think it was 11 English-speaking shows. He found a television-style SWOTOR show that's online, and 2 German and 2 French podcasts.
Nice.
Oh,
So,
wow. Really?
Wow.
yeah,
Huh.
really, really cool.
All right, let's keep going.
All right. Let's see. Force. That'll bring us to the Force feedback, where we read out your tweets and emails. And starting with Jay Connell, who wrote, responding to Tio's reference to Bill's vast wealth, it's not a bottomless pit. LOL, definitely a candidate for quote of the week.
Well, he's still gonna. Well, anyway.
He'll be fine. Sabo wrote, I'm a new listener to the podcast, but I can't get enough of it, so great job. Thank you. Anyways, I was wondering what your thoughts were on how SWOTOR's encouragement for players to have tunes on both factions will influence the new conquest, point, and guild ship content. In other words, will guilds use their tunes on the other side, on the other faction, rather, as a strategy to win conquest points?
I wonder how you could, though.
I
As
don't-
in, yeah, sabotaging another guild's effort, maybe?
Maybe?
I guess that's true. Yeah, you could try and slow down another guild from those commander kills,
Right.
and then leave yourselves alone when you
Yeah,
go
leave
for
the other
it.
guys alone, yeah. Leave your guys alone.
It does
That's the
encourage
only
playing
way, I
your-
think.
It does encourage you to play your ults on the same faction as your guild, because every time all the points that you
Right.
personally earn all contribute to your guild's total. It isn't like limited by legacy. Do you do them? Is there a limit? There's certainly a target, but I don't know if there is a limit per player character.
I thought it was across your legacy.
Actually, I think Musco did say something about that. I don't know what the cap is, though. All right, we'll have to see. We don't know.
Wasn't it 35k?
That's just a personal target to actually get the personal rewards for a given player, a given
only-
character.
The only thing that I did find rather interesting, it came up on ToroCast actually, I think May mentioned it, was the fact that you do not get any contribution towards the scoreboards for your guild by defending the city on the planet.
That's true.
Those commanders.
Mhm.
You get it for killing the guy, but there's no, there's no incentive for you to actually engage in that open world PvP as a defender.
Beyond being an asshole.
Exactly.
Right.
Beyond having fun.
Besides making sure your side wins.
Yes.
All right. That'll bring us to Gas Guy, and Gas Guy was in the chat room, and I'm not sure if he's still there now, but hey, Gas Guy. I had something to happen to me in-game that I wanted to share. I've been working on leveling a Jedi Knight for the last few months. I had completed the storyline, but not yet hit level 55. I must confess that the climax of the storyline left me a bit unsatisfied, but I still have a shiver of excitement when I remember that magical moment in level 10 when I earned the title Jedi Knight. So when I finally hit level 55, I was quite happy. Much to my surprise, I got a bonus. At the same instant that I hit 55, I also hit level 50 for my legacy. Wow, was that neat. My screenshot is attached. That's pretty incredible, because, I mean, obviously you only ding 55 so many times, and level 50 legacy is only once, obviously, and it just happened at some random time for me. I think I
Yeah,
was
me too.
doing a space mission or something. It was,
Yeah.
No, it's very cool that those happen
That's
simultaneously.
awesome. Same time. That's so cool.
Obviously, I've been around since Star Wars: The Old Republic began, and I've not even reached level 50 yet. So I've played since the start, and I'm not even there yet, which is kind of bad, but I'll get there eventually. I think I'm level 28 now, nearing level 30. So I'll get that achievement pretty soon.
Right. So lots of alts, I take it.
Yeah, I just haven't played them yet because
Right.
I keep saying I'm gonna do them for a video, but then I never do.
Right. Well, the thing about legacy points is that you get more of them at the higher levels. So if you're doing operations and in-game flashpoints and war zones and in-game leveling and all that stuff, then you get lots of points. But if you like to level, if you like to have lots of alts and you're getting a lot of them through the 20s or whatever, unfortunately it's a lot slower.
I found that, yeah.
Yeah, I for much the same reason I ended up at Legacy level 50 way behind Tio, because Tio, you were doing tons of level 50 dailies for a long time.
Mhm.
And you just racked up those points, and meanwhile I'd gotten like my operations tune up to 50, and then immediately went off and leveled like 3 or 4 other characters.
Yeah, well, if you remember, the returns for that legacy perk from doing dailies was actually quite a bit higher originally. They've increased that contribution.
Which I didn't know at the time, but
Right.
apparently
Benefited from it.
of.
I just had a thought. Do you know what might be an interesting idea? If they had quests which only gave you legacy experience. Because obviously there's going to be there's many people who
But a higher
like
amount.
me, like me are nowhere near 50. So having those quests might just help you just get that little bit of a boost.
If that's what you're
Yes.
into, sure. That'd be
Interesting
fun.
idea. Suggestion for him.
Chong wrote, "Hey, and Chong, welcome back. Does SWTOR plan to change the toys that recoup your HP into abilities so that the item does not persist in your inventory?" I know it's been suggested to them, but I don't
It
know
has
if they have
been
any
brought up
plans.
Yeah, when it was brought up to them at a community cantina, I believe they were receptive, from what I remember when we covered this, but no promises. So
Hmm.
Yeah, that came up. Bacon, when he reported to us, he gave them the idea, and they thought it was a wonderful idea, but certainly had no projected implementation.
Right. Yep. I know that they often look for ways to clear up people's bags of stuff like that. So
Yeah, it
Imagine
would be
now.
wonderful.
yeah.
When you're looking at
Yeah.
your abilities, you literally just have all of these regen abilities. Literally just one tab just filled with them.
That would be cool. Yeah, a whole new tab of regen. Tio, is your internet okay? Your picture
It's
seems to have
frozen.
frozen. Are you still there?
Let's see if the live stream's still going.
I think he may be having problems. Well, I'll continue reading, and if we need to redo it or whatever, it's no big deal.
Okay.
Let's see, and of course the next one is directly about Tio. Scott wrote, "Heard Tio say, 'I'm glad you asked' in episode 158. Oh no, that was the one we did. We actually did that one. Then we got off on a tangent. Looks like Tio might be getting back in, by the way. Let's see.
all right, I
Great.
think I'm back. Keep
Oh,
going.
you're back. Hey, Tio.
Hello.
We're just about to continue on, and then I messed it up, so we didn't.
No worries.
Greg wrote in, farmed over 53K worth of Rat Ghoul rep this week. Wow. May have gone overboard. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of rep.
It's a lot more than I want to do.
Yeah. Secordio via the forums wrote, "A slight defense of legacy storage. Bill was obviously correct about the best way to have money is not to spend it, and that legacy storage is not the most cost-effective slots. In my opinion, it excels for unpredictable things, and the free bay should handle this. If you only have one toon that crafts or uses that item, it should be in that toon's bank. But if you have many toons that use some low-volume thing and you don't know where it will be used next, legacy can help. For example, I remember alt crafting and having to change to find the aluminum or polyplast, or a set of tweak armor that could be used next on many different toons. I'll probably also keep a stack of the things I'm always running out of at inconvenient times at lower level reagents and so on in there as a backup. The same for stems and flasks. I'm hoping that visiting the Galactic Stronghold and getting some from the Legacy Bank will be quicker than logging in or out and then sending mail and getting the mail and the new character and so on. And you don't need to drop group while you do Galactic Strongholds." That's true.
Excellent.
Logging in and out does cause group problems sometimes.
Yep.
All right, and you want me to skip that one?
Yeah, that's probably enough for one show.
Yep. All right. And what's the last
Oh.
thing is just a list of people who read in?
Ignore that. Sorry.
Okay. All right, then. That's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Harbinger server, or in our
Utini Rage.
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel. Then ask for the quiz that lets us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're on @OotiniCast. I Twitter under my own name @Brandon L. Star, and Tio uses his name @Jason Etheridge. Kranatoko Twitter's @Kranatoko. Or subscribe to him at youtube.com/Kranatoko Games. Red Twitter's under @R3DN4, or you can watch him on twitch.tv/R3DN4. Check out our website, OotiniCast.com, which has links to our presence on Google Plus and Facebook. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher and Spreaker. We can record the show live every Wednesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific. Go to OotiniCast.com/live to find out how to join in. Our theme song is from Mevio's Music Alley. Check it out at music.mevio.com. That's MEVIO. And thank you to the chat room. And thank you, Red, and thank you, Kranatoko.
Thank you. Really hope to come back soon.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
See you next week.
All right, everyone, stay recording. We'll say good night to the chat room. Good night to the chat room.
Good night to the chat.
Bye.
As far as I know, we'll be recording normally next week. So, yeah, have a good one.